Big breaking news coming in a latest update. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister has now released a white paper on the financial health of the state of Andhra Pradesh. According to TDP, it's a white paper on quote-unquote Jagan Sarkar's mismanagement. My colleague Ankit is joining us live from the newsroom. He has more details on the same. Ankit, take us through some big takeaways from this white paper which has been released by the TDP.
So this is the 7th such white paper, but this is perhaps the most significant because it deals with the totality of the state's finances. So it has been released by the Chief Minister, Chandrababu Naidu. And let's go through its structure essentially because it's quite long. Now, the first thing it talks about is how, Meenakshi, when Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated into Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state, it says that the state of AP that now remains inherited 46% of the tax revenue but 58% of the population. So it's setting the base right. It says that we got less of the tax revenue but more of the population. As a result, our per capita income fell far below that of Telangana. Now it goes on to say how during the previous TDP rule, that is till 2019, till Naidu was last voted out, his government delivered on a number of factors. So on infrastructure, on industry, on welfare, he has listed all of his achievements. He's tabulated the big projects during their era and how much of the budget was spent during that time. And he lists a number of projects there. And then this is the big one. This is the capital that he had envisioned. He says Amravati was the largest land pooling in the world. By not taking this opportunity forward, 7 lakh jobs have been lost during construction phase. 2 lakh crore rupee wealth creation has not happened because the Jagan government did not give it its importance. He then tabulates his government, his previous government's efforts, and he says that the state's economy was growing by 13.5%, and then there is a breakup here. He then proceeds to talk about how the destruction of the state's economy happened from 2019 to 2024 when the YSRCP of Jagan Mohan Reddy was in power. He gives the various factors and the hard numbers, how the state's overall growth fell from 13.5% growth rate to 10.5%. And he says even if you account for COVID pandemic, the government should have created an additional revenue of almost 500,000 crore rupees. So 52,000 crore rupees additional should have been created. He then lists the amount of misgovernance that took place, such as the looting of natural resources, anti-industrial policies, change of policy on the Amravati capital city, and the destruction of the Polavaram Dam project. He has listed a number of factors that are also a part of this. He says that after 2019, there were lopsided policies. He has given examples of what those were. He says there was regular mismanagement of financial resources under the Jagan Mohan Reddy government. And then he goes through the modus operandi of how money was essentially wasted and how it was rerouted or diverted from institutions and organizations. And so he lists, Meenakshi, a number of institutions and how there was money that was allegedly rerouted from them, and says less funds available for work undertaken by institutions results in weakening of institutions. So the money that was allotted to these institutions was not used by them, thereby weakening them. He also has drawn a chart of how through the state liquor sales money was mismanaged and how not enough revenue was made. He has then listed properties owned by the state that were mortgaged in Visakhapatnam. And so you can see, and we are not even halfway through the report, but it is very detailed. It's a detailed white paper. It's a long white paper. It has a wealth of numbers and how he distinguishes his previous 5-year TDP rule that ended in 2019 and that of Jagan Mohan Reddy.
All right, Ankit, thank you for joining us with all these details. Shomit also live with us. Shomit, these are some very serious allegations which have been leveled in this white paper which has been released by the TDP against the Jagan Sarkar. It's, one of the white papers which has been released in this series by the TDP. Take us through really what are the big allegations this white paper makes, and has there been any reaction which has come from the side of Jagan Mohan Reddy yet?
Since last, a couple of months, we are seeing how TDP taking it up on the YSRCP previous government, and recently they have released several white papers, including on the Polavaram project, including on the Amravati capital region development, and later even on the excise department. So recently in the excise department also, Chandrababu Naidu, Chief Minister, has stated that 19,000 crore loss to the exchequer was found noticed and very soon CID probe will be initiated in the on the Excise Department loss, is what the government has stated. Now, another white paper on the finances has been released by the Chandrababu Naidu, and he mainly, the government has stated in the white paper, it is 38 pages long, like our colleague explained, and mainly the key points in the, this white paper can be seen in last 5 years, reduced growth rate from 13.5% to 10.5%, and increase in debt, and liabilities from 3.75 lakh crores to 9.7 lakh crores, which is 258% higher than the previous government, and the diversion of the funds from the employees pension funds, and outstanding dues to the vendors is 1.35 lakh crores, and the capital spending reduced by 60% in last 5 years compared to the previous TDP government from 2014 to 2019, and revenue gap of rupees 1.47 lakh crore for expenditure in 2024 and 2025,
okay.
and several other points are also included by the government.
Those points, of course, we highlighted in great detail. Shramit, thank you for taking us through all the details as far as this white paper is concerned. War of words between Jagan Mohan Reddy and the TDP government escalating. We'll keep an eye on that big story as well through the course of the day. As of now, slipping into a short commercial break.